Hey, hold on, stop it a sec. No. Hmm. On mine it said recording in progress. It like fucked me up. I was like, wait, hold on. All right. All right, go ahead. Is it recording? Let's stop. You just hey everybody. Welcome back to Tales from the Car. I'm your host Joshua, and Tales from the Car, in case you didn't know, is the show that is rough, tough, and in the buff. And somebody somebody suggested we had to get a tagline, so that's going to be our tagline. The
Oh,
pod.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kathy. Kathy, was that too sleazy? Wait, that's not.
It
Wait,
was
wait,
a little too sleazy if you ask me, but
wait. Ah, Kathy. Kathy apparently is now the morality police of the show as well. Well, not, we'll have to cut down the sleaze.
to a
Maybe
minimum.
we'll change to rough, tough, and all the stuff you need on your podcasts. Yeah, we'll work on that. So anyway, we're, we're here recording episode 45, and I guess we're doing a discussion of the Rat Pack. Uh, so I'm not sure. Kathy had this idea, so we're not sure. So this is Kathy's mess. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna put the blame on you, Kathy, because it's plausible deniability. You always have to have somebody else to blame for whatever goes wrong.
Okay,
So
so do you want me to tell you why I came up with this idea?
sure, because I'm not really sure. You
Okay,
did
so
before, so I guess you have to know.
so my daughter had a friend over after school on Friday, and I was taking her friend, and my son out to dinner. So on the way there, we were listening to my playlist, and Harper likes to just put whatever song on she likes and skip like 37 in between. So on the way back, my son says, "Could we listen to something on my playlist?" And I said, "Sure." I didn't even know he had a playlist. So
Playlist. But
So he plugs his phone into my car, and the first song that comes on is "I Did It My Way" by Frank Sinatra.
oh my god,
I said to him, "Oh my
worst song.
God, is this Frank Sinatra?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "You like him?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do." And I go, I can't even believe you even know who he is. Like, my son is 14. So
He
here,
expanded his past Justin Bieber and
this
whatever.
is just one of several Frank Sinatra songs on his playlist.
Jesus, we'll have to get into that in a minute. Wait, but
So
we'll get that.
now,
What's that?
so now I had to go down the rabbit hole of, so do you listen to Dean Martin too? And he doesn't know who Dean Martin is. So I said, well, we've got to talk about this.
Steve Martin. Steve Martin was known. I think he's better known as being a
What was that?
comedy. I think he's more known as being a comedy guy than a singer. I'm not thinking.
No, like I obviously knew him as Jerry and what was it? Dean and Jerry, right? Like was the comedy act, but like I remember him more as a singer, really.
Uh, Sarah Moore's a comedy act. But that's what we're going to talk about today. So we got to go to the show proper. I hope this sounds all right because we're actually testing out new equipment. And yeah, believe it or not. So the show's actually cost me money, folks. So this is actually a losing proposition. I bought a microphone and I don't know what it sounds. So it's going to sound like on the recording. So, so if it's improved, great. If it's not, well, we tried anyway. So, well, we're gonna have to. Oh, I don't even know. We have anything else to throw out there? No.
You're gonna do some show notes.
Well, yeah, I was thinking like I don't know anything else to say. I don't know if no, we don't have any updates about episode 13, so I don't know. We're gonna do text that guy later and see if I sent him something the other day. He didn't respond. Like so, I don't know. It's like,
Well,
but
it's
he
not
read
like
it.
he's not a
This,
busy investigative journalist.
right, but he read the whatever I sent him.
Okay.
Said, but it like, yeah, I got left undelivered or what? I don't know. I have a really relationship with the person. I can't be that bad, but I was like, if they actually read it, I was just like, oh well, I don't know. Anyway, so there was actually something. I actually sent him something about something. One of the shows he had done. It was like, I don't know. But anyway, I just sent him some like random thing like, "Hey, how's the weather down there? Is it cold as fuck like it is about a couple hours north of you or what? I don't know." But anyway, so Tales from the Car, where we are, rough, tough, and we got all the stuff here. We are a weekly podcast, and we're available on all major podcast platforms, even ones you never heard of. Check us out on Good Pods, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all that good stuff. Um, if you want to, always like, share, follow the show. Let your friends know, let your family know, let your enemies know. Because if we annoy you, you should tell your enemies about it. Because then you should pass along the pain.
Definitely.
That
And we
sounds,
can use more numbers.
yeah. Especially since the podcast apps don't really. I don't know what the hell's going on with those. Anyway, so, anyway, give us a listen. Give us a 5-star review on any of those apps and stuff. Any apps or website you listen to us on helps out the show, gives more visibility and everything. And I can't even talk. I talk even less. Or oh my god. Anyway, folks, this is what you get. We don't rehearse this. There's no way to go back and change this. One of us have editing skills or the ability to do so. But so anyway, like, follow, share, subscribe to the show, give us a 5-star review. All that's free. If you want to donate to the show, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/, Mr. Pogo 1972, the letter B. You can email the show at Mr. Pogo 1972 at gmail.com. And you can always join the Facebook group. Search Tales from the Car podcast on Facebook. It'll come right up. Um, Thanks always to Joe at elitepodcast.net, the show art and everything, and supporting the show and stuff. And Cathy still hasn't sent me any chips either, folks. Make sure
Yep,
you send her
sorry,
some.
that was a one-time deal on who
If
sent the
you want,
first email.
if you want to send hate mail to Cathy, please do so. We're not sharing Middlesbrough potato chips. but, but anyway, I guess that about covers it. So let's get this. So now you're talking about your son's terrible taste in music.
Oh no, I didn't say he has terrible taste. Not
I
at
just did.
all. Like I was
But
very excited that he knew who Frank Sinatra was.
that is very shocking. But what are the other songs? He mentioned I Did It My Way. But what are the other songs that he had?
Well, I asked him if he knew New York, New York, and he said he did not. So, which I'm kind of surprised because we actually watched the ball drop this year, and don't they always play New York, New York?
Yeah, pretty much.
So he probably just didn't realize, you know,
I don't
that's
know.
who it was.
You fall down the Frank Sinatra rabbit hole. That's definitely gotta be one that comes up. Although I was never a big fan of his. I don't know. He did not do anything for me. But what else did he listen to? What are the songs that he knew? He said he knew 7.
No, he said he knew some. He knew several, he said. I didn't look at the rest of the playlist because we
Uh,
weren't very far from the house, so we only got to hear that one song. But I'm giving him more songs to add, so I told him he had to add a few from Dean Martin. And now I'm kind of fall down this rabbit hole where I remember watching the Rat Pack movie on, I think HBO put it out. And it was like kind of Frank's I guess view on things because it was like he was more the main character of the movie and it was good. So now I think I have to go look for that to see if we could sit and watch it.
The no, HBO did do movies. I did like 5 minutes of research on Wikipedia, and like in the late '80s, I think it was. There was, it might have been later than that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was later than that because I believe like Frank was the only one still alive at the point.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna try to find that. And then you were talking about the actual Ocean's 11 movie.
right. We haven't watched that, so there's no point discussing
No, but like
discussing. Unless you want me to ruin the ending, there's no point discussing Ocean's 11
no,
because
but
Ocean.
I have not seen that with the original Rat Pack. I've only ever seen the George Clooney one.
No, you have to watch if you've never seen. It's on. I found it on Amazon to rent for like $3 or whatever it was. But if you have not ever seen the original Ocean's 11, I highly recommend it. It's oh my god, it's a fantastic movie, and the ending is the best part. Like, and it's a shame I can't. I tell you, don't want me to root for it, but like when you get to the end, it's fucking amazing what happens. They unlike Ocean's 11, the remake, which I really liked, except for the ending, and because George Clooney rides off into the sunset with fucking what's her name, Julia Roberts. You gotta have like that. Oh, the guy gets the girl, the hero gets the girl, and all they ride off in the sunset happily ever after. Like shit's so fucking tired and annoying. But so if you take everything up to that part where he goes to jail, it's great. But that like they're like 5 years later thing ruins it. But anyway, so
So is there actually a Danny Ocean on there? Do they still have like
yeah, George Clooney basically plays Frank Sinatra's character,
oh okay,
or
so
is Frank.
Frank Sinatra's okay. I mean, I would have just loved to see old Vegas back when they were like
Yeah,
had a show.
but it's on Prime. I highly recommend spending the $3. It was made in 1960 or 61. One thing said 60, the other thing said 61. So I don't know, 60 or 61 is when it was made.
Okay.
Or so yeah, it's like Shirley MacLaine's in it too. Although people these days probably don't know who that is. She's a classic nut job. I don't think she's with us anymore, but she was a nut job. And have you ever seen? We're talking about movies. Have you ever seen? Oh my god! Because you remember this. Like, Shirley MacLaine was like that person who was like all about like past lives and all this crap, right?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen Defending Your Life?
No?
Oh my god, jeez! Yeah, we're gonna sort of start a whole new series. I think next week's starting Cathy watches stuff because I don't know. I don't know how you never. Oh my god.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh my, it's fucking great. It's like Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep, uh, Rip Taylor. Oh my god, I forget who else in that. Shirley MacLaine makes a cameo appearance in it in the Past Lives Pavilion, which is really funny. It's kind of a because she's nothing about past lives. Whatever, she was the host of the Past Lives Pavilion, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I knew she was." It's funny as you grew up in that area and you hear those stories. Like it's funny, but that's a great movie. That's like oh my god, if you never yeah, there's another one you need to watch, folks. If you never saw Defending Your Life, it's highly entertaining.
All right, I'm
But
writing this down right now.
the follow up to that, I think, is Mother with Albert Brooks and like Debbie Reynolds. That's really funny too. Like it's like I think that's what that's called. I will have to look that up, but it's like that one is very funny.
Okay. How about Sammy Davis Jr.? Did you like him? Because he was
He,
in a lot of shows, I remember when I was younger.
he was yeah, Sammy was all right, but he's I don't know. I was never really into like the old school like crooners like that, but I know he was like he was. That's an interesting guy. Like, you know, Sammy Davis Jr. He had the glass eye, right?
Yeah.
You know how he ended up with the glass eye,
Yes, he was in a car accident.
right? But you know why? You know why he ended up. Right, but what happens is like they take him to the hospital, and even though this is Vegas and Sammy Davis Jr., they would here's how racist this was back in I don't know what year this was. He had they wouldn't operate on him. They left him sitting on a gurney with this fucked up eye, and
Oh,
nobody would help him. Even though he's Sam Davis Jr., like they left him there. At least this is a story I had heard. I don't know. It's probably mostly filled with facts, but like he was left on a gurney, and they went because racism and all that other shit. Like they wouldn't do anything. Doctors were doing to help me, even though he is who he is.
yeah.
And it was really called like Frank Sinatra or somebody to come down there that they actually did something for him. But by that point, he lost his eye.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah,
But I did
they're
know
not,
Frank was really adamant about having him on stage with him and stuff, like, because I know that they were still, you know, not big in Hollywood on
it
black
was a
actors and actresses.
right. It was a big statement to do stuff like that.
Yeah, which I think is,
You know, that he did it for publicity, but it was like that was his friend or whatever. They
yeah, which you got to give him props for that.
Yeah, but Frank was mob connected, so I mean, like, I don't know
Oh,
that I don't think he was ever really going to get blacklisted or anything for all that.
I mean, I'm not going to hold anything against him.
But yeah, he was who was his manager or his mob connection, Jilly Rizzo. There's like he works. There's like a wrestling. Jilly Rizzo had sort of a wrestling connection. They were friendly with Bruno Sammartino, who was the WWF champion for almost the entire '60s and half of the '70s. And
I don't understand why every conversation we have has to somehow lead into wrestling with you.
it's not my fault that there's 7 degrees of separation. It all leads back to wrestling somehow.
I mean, I have a hard time believing that because isn't it 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, not 7 degrees of wrestling?
Well, I think it can go either way. It can be 7 degrees of anything you want it to be.
Oh, see, I thought it was only Kevin Bacon.
No. You could probably tie Kevin Bacon back to wrestling too somehow.
Please, no.
He
Speaking of Kevin Bacon, have you ever seen his movie Murder in the First?
no.
Oh, it was such a great movie, and it was so long ago, but it was such a great movie.
Wasn't he the murderer in that or something?
Well, he ends up in in Alcatraz, I believe. And yeah,
No,
it
I never.
it's a really good movie.
You're talking about the Rat Pack. Did you ever see or hear about the time Sinatra and Dean Martin crashed the Jerry Lewis telethon?
No, but I remember the Jerry Lewis telethon being on when I was a kid every year.
Yeah, they crashed the Jerry Lewis telethon all drunk and stuff.
That's
Like that.
amazing. Did they sing or what did they do?
They just stumbled out on stage. They didn't know Jerry didn't know they were going to show up. They fell over and stuff. I should have looked at it. I could, with all the things about the Rat Pack, they didn't mention this, but like, but quite infamously, I don't know if it was during the '80s or late '70s. Like, Sinatra and Martin showed up on set unannounced, and they thought it'd be a nice surprise, and they like stumbled over drunk and fell over and all this stuff, and
Well, I did also read that.
that, that was they had actually because they all had a falling out with Jerry because Jerry was kind of Jerry Lewis was the notorious asshole and a piece of
Oh,
shit.
okay.
By what stories I remember hearing, and so, but I mean, who knows why they fell had a falling out? But Dean and Lewis and Martin were a big comedy act. And they hadn't spoken in years, and they figured, oh, hey, let's go surprise Jerry. and it just went horribly wrong. But they were all drunk and fell over and shit on like live television. It was like, and they never spoke again before any of them died. At least that's what my understanding of it was. I don't know. Because I forget when Jerry was alive for quite a while after that, and then Dean died during the '80s, and Sammy Davis died in like '88 or '89.
Yeah, I feel like Frank was like one of the last ones. Like I think Dean Martin died before Frank, but I don't know about Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis lived a long time. Um,
He might
Sammy
even still
Davis
be
had
alive.
cancer. I know that.
Who did?
Sammy Davis.
Yeah,
But I used to love when he would do his little dance to the Candyman. Like I
yeah.
still love that song. And I don't know if it's because it takes me back to being a kid or what, but I always liked Sammy Davis Jr.
Wait, did you see the have you your child days? Have you? You're probably gonna say no, but have you ever watched Cannonball Run and Cannonball Run 2?
I did. I do remember seeing that.
I saw them in the theaters. Like they had,
Because like Dom DeLuise was on that, right?
yeah, Burt Reynolds. It was like everybody, and everybody you can imagine at the time who was a movie star was in that. Made a cameo in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, but no, the Cannonball Run 2 is the last time that Dean, Frank, and Sammy and Shirley Clinton all appeared on camera together.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like I think it's I think like oh, you look, they have.
I'm writing all this down because I'm definitely gonna make my son sit through some of this. Do you remember when Sammy
Well,
Davis
yeah,
Jr. sat through All in
but
the
yeah,
Family?
no, I don't think I ever saw that one. I think I knew about it. I don't think I ever saw it, but yeah, Cannonball Run was just Martin and Davis, and Cannonball Run 2 was all three of them, and Shirley MacLaine and whoever Silva was. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Anyway, but, but no, I vaguely remember him on that. I think I've heard about it, but what about it? I
Well,
mean,
because Archie Bunker was racist, right? Like that was the thing. And
right.
I don't know if Sammy Davis moved in next door. I don't know what the gist of it was, but Sammy came to his house and I think he played himself, but he went to get a picture. Archie wanted a picture taken with him, and then when he goes to take the picture, Archie kisses him on the cheek when the
No,
picture flashes. And of course, like Archie Bunker was just ready to die.
even Sammy Davis kissed him on the cheek.
Yeah, Sammy kissed him on the cheek, and
I haven't seen that. I have seen that. Yeah, I was like,
which is hysterical.
my favorite is when he's like, well, they're talking about politics, and he has like the pamphlet out. He's like, if he reads off, he's like, oh, look at this. You got a Polak, a Jew, an Irishman, and a regular American. He's like, that's a balanced ticket. It's like, things you can't do anymore. But I don't know. They talk about Archie. I don't know. That show was ahead of its time though too, with stuff that I mean, it's stuff you can't do on television. But there's stuff that they had done on the show that like you can't. It was actually kind of ahead of its time for stuff. I forget what though. But I'm looking up Sinatra Martin on the telephone. You're probably gonna hear him just tap tap tapping on the thing. Hold on, because
What are you looking up?
I'm trying to find that thing where they were. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, no, I was wrong because I always heard it went south, but according to this, hold on. I apologize, folks. I will definitely correct myself here. Well, I had heard it went the other way. Like after they, hold on.
So it went well, is what you're trying to say.
After the split, I'll read this. So, according to Lewis, the two did not speak to each other privately for 20 years. To which Lewis later commented, "The stupidity of that I cannot expound on. The ignorance of that is something I hope I'll always forget." Martin's career arguably reached new heights after the team split up as a recording artist for Capitol and Reprise Records. As a movie actor, both on his own, Rio Bravo, The Young Lions, and the Matt Helm series. I know Rio Bravo's a John Wayne movie. I didn't know Dean Martin was in that. It's always, of course, it's always mentioned as John Wayne, but I never knew that he was even in that. The member of the Rat Pack with his own hugely successful 65 to 74 television variety series, The Dean Martin Show. I can't believe that was on for 10 years. I didn't, wow, I didn't realize that. Let's see. Hang on. Trying to find the part. Oh, here we go. The two men reconciled in 19 September of 96, 76, and it was a Labor Day. Yeah, it was Labor Day telethon. So I don't think do they still do the telethon at all or no? I don't know.
Believe so, because he used to do it, it was like for 36 hours straight.
Yeah, and he didn't sleep for yeah, he was somehow up all that time. Yeah, it was crazy, folks. Believe me. Live television too, not they had taped segments, but he was there live in the studio for that, yeah, all that whole time on camera. So September 76th, Frank Sinatra orchestrated a surprise appearance by Martin on Lewis's annual Labor Day telethon for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, saying only, "I have a friend who loves what you do every year." The pair beamed and embraced, and then had a few minutes of friendly banter, during which Lewis asked Martin, "So you working?" Just according to Dean's daughter, Dean Martin, Frank or Deanna Martin. Boy, that's really confusing. Deana, Dina or Deanna. That's Jesus Christ. That's too similar a name. Frank had hidden Dean in Ed McMahon's dressing room, where he was then briefly spotted by Jerry's son, Gary Lewis. To be safe, he didn't say anything to his father, and the surprise went off without a hitch.
Oh, that's
Review, yeah. This is according to this. I was wrong, but I had heard that this went south. I heard that they crashed it and he didn't know, and they were drunk and all this stuff. But so now I don't know what the real story is. But I swear to God, I heard that. I wouldn't. I heard that somewhere. I read that somewhere years ago. And if I like, I wouldn't have said if I didn't. I thought it went all.
you
Yeah, I thought that whole.
I have read about Dean and his, I believe it was his family had talked about it, that some of the drunk thing, like he had actually quit drinking and then he would just have apple juice in a glass and be walking around acting like he was drunk.
Huh, yeah, I heard that too. So the big so at the end, the brief reunion was big national news, and according to Lewis, the two spoke every day after that, quote unquote. Well, that's pretty awesome.
See, that's a feel-good story.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like I swear to God, I heard that they did not get along or whatever. So I was like, it was.
I mean, is there anything that defines cool more than the Rat Pack running Las Vegas every night?
I mean, maybe not back in the '60s and '50s and '60s. Probably not. Probably not. Oh, I got a wrestling reference for that too. Psych. Just kidding. Is that not funny?
Well, we have less than 10 minutes on the
We
recording.
do.
Yes.
Wow. We have to keep up with that, folks. So I don't know if she just said text me that, but we were on Zoom because the other program kind of sucks and doesn't really work right with the microphone. But let's see if I can't remedy that. If I get like a let's see if I get like a wireless headset if that works. Like, or Bluetooth, which I have. It's
It's charging.
that it is. So I don't know. It's still showing red, so I don't know. I may have to plug it into something else, but at least I've got it. I found it.
At least you found the cord.
Yeah, well, not well. The fact that I found it, the finding the headset took longer than finding the cord. I couldn't find the headset for weeks. We talked about this weeks ago. Well, not on the show. I know you guys missed out on this witty banter here. Did you want a wrestling story, Kathy? Is that what you're saying?
I did not. I mean, I believe since the countdown is on, you probably should start going over
Over what?
the show notes, saying thanks
Well,
for
that,
listening.
we had like 10 minutes. I don't
No, it's less than 10 minutes.
less than 10 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I could see the countdown.
No. So my anyway, I don't have my clock doesn't say that, but anyway, I would whatever you say, Kathy.
What we can say is that I guess the West Memphis 3, the testing is going to go through, we saw.
I saw some of that. So wait, they actually the attorney's office actually approved it finally.
I mean, I guess, but once again, I wonder how much testing.
No, how much testing do you need to have done? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, test everything that you have. But that's just me.
But wait, did it actually get approved, or is it maybe approved? Right? Because I saw something about it, and then I get seen it. I don't know. She's saying one thing or the other, but is it actually gonna? He says it's actually gonna go through.
I believe that they're agreeing to it,
Wow,
which is big because
that
they
is it actually.
doubled down.
They can always change their mind. This is fucking Arkansas, and that is home of LaDonna Humphrey too. Can't forget that. So there's a lot of issues going on in Arkansas, people. So I don't know, but if they do that, that's awesome because like yeah, that may actually answer a lot of questions and people if you don't know, Jesus Christ, if you've been alive the last 30 years or whatever, and you don't know anything about the West Memphis Three at this point, it's too long. It take too long to litigate this here. We had more than 5 minutes. We go read up on it. It's one of the greatest travesties of justice. Well, I guess we're going to finally get the answer. You know, it's going to shut. It's either going to shock people or shut people up or both. Because
Well,
either because like but you know it's no you know there's hold on let me go on my soapbox. So like I'm all for this, right? I've been for one of like doing the testing for years, right? Because it's going to answer the question that people and then I've seen I swear to God I know a guy who does true crime podcast who said to me like, oh well, and then he actually said like, oh, but they don't need to do the testing. They already got the murderers. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, but you know what? The DNA testing might prove if they really are the murderers, it will put the answer to rest finally, right?
yeah,
Is they're opposed? He's actually opposed to the DNA testing. He's like, oh, I'm a proponent of the family and blah 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 blah, whatever he said. And I'm like, yeah, like I think it's terrible too. Like I think that those kids need justice, families need justice, and everything else. But the questions always remain: like, did they do it? Did they not do it? If the testing the DNA, right, can prove that they didn't do it or did it, right? Could go either way, right?
yep,
This is a slippery slope here. Why not test it? Why not just test it and put this whole fucking thing to rest finally?
agree. I believe if there's even so much as 1% chance that they didn't do it, test the evidence.
Or if they did it, either way, it goes back and forth either way on that. If you believe they did or they didn't do it, like why wouldn't you? Because the only people I ever hear that oppose it are the people that think they did it. Well, we
Yeah.
don't need to do it. They did it. Like what? But you know what's crazy too? Talking about the show I listened to, they had a thing. Oh my god, I'll send you this, Kathy. They had a thing where and I saw some other podcasts talking about this or heard. Say that soft, but I don't know where they were talking about DNA tests, right? That were get this shit that like the medical examiners faked them or falsified them, so they would look one way or the other.
Yikes.
I'm not even shitting. There's actual there's actual like cases. Like somebody a couple people got in trouble for this. I'll send you the link to it. You gotta hear this thing. This is scarier than anything. Where like it turned out like there was this guy he got sent to death row, and like 10 years into his sentence, right? They found out that he didn't do it. That the DNA test did not actually point to him.
Wow.
They actually like dummy the results, gimmick the results, whatever, to point at him. I forgot how they did it, but I swear to God, I'm not even making this up. I'll send you the podcast link. But what do you say? 1 minute? Jesus. I wish we had more time. I didn't have, because this is actually a good thing to talk about. We should, but this is